Goddag, hvordan har du det? This is my first video about Denmark, and in particular Copenhagen. Now, just to emphasize the point about my trip to Copenhagen, I'm going to attempt to sing this song. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen, friendly old girl of a town. 'Neath her tavern light, on this merry night, let us clink and drink one down. To wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen, salty old queen of the sea. Once I sailed away, but I'm home today. Singing Copenhagen, wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen for me. There we go. I could have done that better, but there you go. This is about my experience in Denmark's capital city 24 years ago. Now, me and my friend decided to visit Denmark in the year 2000 because we both had an interest in the Nordic countries. And what better place to go than Copenhagen, or Copenhagen, as they say in Danish. I remember feeling excited about going there, as I had only been in Scandinavia for a mere 3 hours previously in my life. One problem I had before I went was that I had a urine infection, which was not ideal and not a good thing to have before going anywhere at all. What's more, on the plane going over, I had a glass of brandy. Not a great idea. Doesn't really mix well with antibiotics or the high altitude. So I was lightheaded and in and out of the toilet every 5 minutes. Luckily the flight was only about 1 hour 45, something like that. Not long. So I recovered, basically. I must have done, because I was alright after that. And the hotel was nice when I got there. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's as I said, it's 24 years ago. Had all the basic amenities, but it wasn't the 5-star type of hotel. We couldn't really afford that. There was an open air park in the middle of the hotel, surrounded by apartments, and some strange noises coming from apartments below. Yes, hard to describe. Yes. Well, the dining facilities were on the ground floor. We had the usual Danish food, open sandwiches, smørrebrød, and several different cakes. Well, what I remember most was the jellied eels. And that's what I had for breakfast every day, every morning. My stomach was in conversation with me the rest of the day, if you know what I mean. One of the most common leisure activities is, of course, cycling. They have cycle paths all over the city and places where you can hire bikes as well, obviously. And at a very cheap price, yes. So, and also they have traffic lights, just like you have on the roads, because they have so many bikes. And I think they must have walked a mile or two to find a place to hire a bike. Well, and because that was ridiculous, because a week later, because at the end of the week, we found that we could hire a bike right outside the hotel we were living in. When we eventually did get bikes to hire, I remember cycling around, just looking around. Nice bike, a bit of an old bike. But the trouble is, the problem I had was cycling downhill, because I forgot that to brake you had to pedal backwards, and because I forgot to pedal backwards, I ended up crashing into a bush. I think we cycled past the Amalienborg Palace where the Danish royal family still lives. But and I think we may have seen the Little Mermaid, but I'm not sure. We visited the museums, including Ripley's, believe it or not. Though I don't remember visiting the Hans Christian Andersen museum. When we first went to the shops, I had a surprise. I saw my first hjemløs person, which means homeless. With my uniquely idealistic view of Scandinavia, I wasn't expecting that. But that's how I thought at the time. But we also went on a bus tour. We went past Amalienborg again, which I mentioned before. The Little Mermaid, the Niederhallhur, and the Copenhagen shipyard, in which they talked about the history of ship battles with Sweden. Also, went past the Parken. We had a Danish national football team play their football. We also had a trip to Freetown, Christiania, or to Freetown, Christiania, or you could call it just Christiania. Basically, it's a semi-independent district of the city, founded in 1971. Also went to the zoo in Frederiksberg and travelled in a horse and cart to there. Frederiksberg is a municipality in the city. We couldn't leave Denmark without going to the famous Tivoli Gardens, a place of amusement rides, twinkling pavilions, carnival games and open-air stage shows. Unfortunately, it's now closed, but it's one of the most famous attractions in the city. There were several rides you could go on, including the Golden Tower, of which neither of us were keen on. I think we may have went on the swinging carousel, but we definitely went on this boat ride. It was an indoor boat ride with Vikings and longboats, and but no water, obviously. On the last day, we thought it would be great to cross the Öresund to Sweden. This is before they built the bridge from Copenhagen to Malmö. So we took the ferry on the 5-mile trip to another Nordic country. At one time, Malmö was part of Denmark, as it's one of the main towns in the county of Skåne. I managed to put my knowledge of Swedish to good use, asking for water, and when I got there, the toilets. I just recall walking around the town. I don't remember doing much else there. What I do remember though, on the ferry back to Copenhagen, there was this Dane rushing onto the ferry, holding his head and saying, "Jeg har hovedpine." I had no idea what he was saying at the time. It was just bizarre. Just sounded really strange then. He was saying, "I have a headache." He was simply saying, "I have a headache." But yeah, my Swedish is much better than my Danish. Even though I've tried learning Danish, very difficult to hear all the different words in the sentences and get confused with all these vowel sounds, you know. Yeah, so that's my experience of wonderful Copenhagen. And yes, I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed getting away. I wasn't able to speak to people in Danish. I tried in a bakery, but it wasn't great. So yes, but at least I went there. 6 days in Denmark and a trip across the Öresund to Malmö in Sweden. So that was great. And I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.